Besides simply calculating the age of a building and the likelihood that there's a bad coat of paint somewhere, you can also do a little detective work and find out what the building was before you got there. And I'm talking about a high-rise building or a condo. If it's a condo, was it formerly apartments? Because if it was, then that means that everyone who moved out before someone else moved in, they got a fresh coat of paint. And a lot of times that paint is garbage paint. So if it's a conversion from a condo, from apartments to a condo, red flag, expensive paper, condo conversion, use a liner paper. Someone asks you to do a ceiling, use a liner paper. I don't care. Unless you got there when the house was new and you specified the first coat of paint on there, it's raw sheetrock, well then go ahead. But if you've done any painting in your life, you'll know that ceiling paint is the chalkiest, crappiest paint you can get. And the reason is that no one touches the ceiling, so they don't have to worry about rubbing it or washing it down. And so they make it very chalky so that it drinks up the light and also is dead flat, and therefore it hides bad joint compound work. But it's terrible paint. If you're in an older building and there's ceiling paint, if you're in a pre-war building, pre-World War II, during the Second World War, they made paint. They were running short of linseed oil, and they used fish oil or other oils, whatever they had on hand. Also, before the war, in certain areas of the country, they didn't use paint on the ceiling. They used what was called calcimine. And calcimine was just like a chalk, it was like a powder puff up there. And then someone painted over it. You were supposed to remove it. But a lot of painters, for some reason, didn't bother to see if you could rub it off with a rag. And so if you run into 3 coats on top of 3 coats of paint on top of a calcimine, and then you hang a wallpaper, it can literally fall down on your head with all the stuff sticking to the back of it. So it's very rare that you would get that. Most of the time with ceilings, it's maybe 6 or 7 or 20 coats of crappy ceiling white. Use a liner paper for a ceiling. It's a good habit to get into.